I would be remiss not to tell you that most people fail in Airbnb. Guys, Airbnb arbitrage is a great opportunity. The problem with it is that most people who can breathe and have a heart rate can get into it. There's no requirements, there's no education, there's no licensing, and so you can be an Airbnb host. But because of that, the failure rate is very high because most people have no clue what they're doing. That's okay, because I'm here to share with you today some of the fastest ways from beginner to intermediate to expert that you can get into rental arbitrage, which is a fancy way of saying this. We're not gonna buy a property. We're gonna rent a property from a landlord and get their permission to put it up on Airbnb. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm telling you, when I learned about this in 2016, I thought that people were crazy because I was ready to buy a property. And now we just rent and we've built an Airbnb empire. And I'm gonna show you exactly how you can speed this process up and be faster than anybody else getting into the industry. I got voted #1 Airbnb coach in America right now because of the speed of getting people results. I've helped tens of thousands of people in my life, and you would be no different. The only thing about it is, most people, I don't think they're dumb. I just think that they don't understand, right? They just think that everything can they do. And look, you can do this yourself. But I'm going to give you the statistics and the data, and then you make a choice whether or not you want to do this. Most people get decimated, and I'm going to tell you something. Most people, if you go online, you're following these gurus and these coaches, they're telling you, go get an apartment. What they're not telling you is that it requires business credit. I'm a business credit master, and I'm going to tell you something. If you're going to go into an apartment for your first rental property, just understand they're going to want financials and they're going to want business credit. So if you don't have business credit built and or you don't have your financials and you have a paydex score of 80 or higher, then why don't you go to apartments first? So what you're going to do is you're going to go for a single family house as your first rental property. If you want to do this quicker, listen to what I'm saying. My students are crushing it right now because of the method, the blueprint that I'm teaching my students every day and try and teach you guys right now. And that is this. Go to Zillow.com. Don't drive for dollars. You want to do this quicker? Stop driving around town looking for signs that say for rent by owner. Stop asking friends and family if they have a property, because that's not the way to get on Airbnb. The way is digital. Get on Zillow.com and type in one of these cities. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple markets. I'm going to share with you why these markets are important. That the market is not huge. This is going to save you time. The market is not huge, which means that there are more than 10,000 people doing Airbnb in that market. For example, Atlanta, Miami, Chicago. Stay out of the main and go with a mid-sized city that's all around, right? The cities that do good are right around the main city. For example, I would go to Nashville, right? I would go to Waco, Texas. I would go to Myrtle Beach, right? Think of Aurora, Illinois, right? Jacksonville. Think of towns that are not really well known, but they're in proximity to that well-known city, and you will do much better. The reason is because those big cities, unless your property is in immaculate condition and it stands out from the other 12,500 people doing it, then you're not going to do well. So when you are getting paid software, and by the way, if the most important thing that I tell you in this video is that you get paid software, then it's me telling you get paid software. Do not get into Airbnb without paid software from an AirDNA platform. Couple $100 a month, my students get it for free. I paid $2,000 a year for it for the executive level. If you and I work together, you get that as well. But why is it important? Because if not, you're guessing and hoping that guests are going to show up and you're going to make money versus having the data to know what potentially this property could generate per month, as opposed to just going, I hope and pray the guests show up. I hope and pray, right? But this is why most people fail, because they have no clue what they're doing. Okay. Now, let me tell you about AirDNA, this software. Okay. Here's some things that you're going to look for. Number one, you want to look for a market grade above 65. Guys, I'm going to dig deep right now. And by the way, if you haven't taken the time to subscribe to the channel, take a second, hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure you turn on your bell notifications, because every single day, Investor Mike is coming to you to blow up and give you the tips, tricks, and strategies so you can be successful in your business. Now, let's talk about it for a minute, because AirDNA, here's what we're looking for. When you type a city in to AirDNA, you want a market grade above 65. You want to be in a place that has more than 250 active Airbnbs, but less than 10,000. That's what we talked about, those mid cities. Okay. You want to make sure that when you're looking at the average daily rate, that it is above $150. That's another criteria. Why? Because you don't want to compete with hotels. They'll kill you because they've got the infrastructure to do it. Now, here's the thing. You also want occupancy, average, to be above 60%. Savannah, Georgia, okay? Killing it right now. Nashville, Tennessee, killing it. Chattanooga, killing it. Jacksonville Beach, killing it. St. Augustine Beach, killing it. Santa Clarita, California, killing it. Guys, I'm telling you guys, when I tell you when I'm going to pull back the curtains in the video, just watch out. I'm going to blow your socks right off your feet. Make sure your shoes are tied at this moment because the next couple things coming to you are going to knock your socks off. That being said, here's the calculation. Here's how we know if the property is good for Airbnb or not. Just because you found a property that you think is good because you live there, does that mean that a property is good for Airbnb? No or no. So what do we want to do? We want to make sure that when we look at the revenue on AirDNA, it's going to give us the projected annual revenue. We're going to take that, we're going to divide by 12. That's going to give us our gross monthly revenue. Then we're going to remove a total of $800. That's going to include your cleaning costs, and that's going to include your utilities, okay? Now, with that number right there, take your rent out of that payment, and the rest is your potential net profit. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, because you just got your gift. And next year, don't ask Mikey for your gift. Don't ask for a Christmas gift. You just got it right there. That's how you do your projections. And if that number that you come up with right there is over $1,500, it is a good property for Airbnb. If it's less than $1,500, just pass on it and find another one, okay? What I just gave you right there is some of the inside gems and tips that I give my paid students. You want to pick good markets. You want to pick Airbnb. Think rental properties. We're not going to buy anything. Interest rates are terrible right now. And that's the calculation you want to use. Go back through this video 100 times. Put it on extra slow and look at the criteria I just told you and factor in how you're going to factor in. But remember this, do not get free software. If you want to get into a plane that's where one jet is working, the other one's not, and you want to travel, that's like getting into Airbnb, knowing that you're not using paid software. If it's the one thing that saves your business and your sanity and your money and your time and energy, I just told you what it was. Make sure that you have the best software. Don't skimp on this and be a cheaper. Okay? Most people, if you want to speed up the process, most people always worried about, hey, do I have enough funding? Do I have a good credit score? I don't have any credibility. Okay? I don't have any Airbnbs. I don't have any website. I don't have my LLC. Don't worry about that. Get in the game. Your credit score is not going to be important. Okay? Your LLC right now is not important. How many Airbnbs you have right now is not important. Just listen to what I'm about to tell you, because I'm about to change the game. If you've made it this far, listen to what I'm telling you. This is how I've saved and changed the Airbnb game. Have you ever heard this statement before? It's not what you know, it's actually who you know. You ever heard that statement before? Watch how this works. My students are crushing it right now in Airbnb arbitrage because they have the help of me. And if you want to do this faster and you want to get your first Airbnb in under 30 days, then listen to what I'm telling you. I don't care about your credit. I don't care about your experience. I don't care about your website. I don't care how old your LLC is. I don't care what your business credit is. None of that matters. If you got a little bit to invest, I'm going to be able to help you. Now listen to this. The answer to how I've changed the game in Airbnb is actually knowing me. Now I'm going to tell you why. Because what I'm going to do for you is once I work with you and I find the right property, you and I are working back and forth. First and foremost, I'm going to help you find a furnished property. I just saved you $3,000 to $5,000 right there. You don't have to worry about furnishing. Part number 2, you never have to worry. Never once have I had a student pay their first month of rent, and neither will you. You don't have to worry about paying your first month of rent either. What are you talking about? That's what I said. Furnished property. Never have to pay your first month of rent. You don't have to worry about your software because I'm going to cover that. You don't have to worry about your contracts because I'm going to cover that. And if you and I work together, I personally will get on. Mr. Investor Mike is going to get on the phone with you and the landlord after we've identified the right property and it makes sense financially and you're okay with it and I give you the thumbs up on it. I'm personally going to get on the phone with you and I'm going to negotiate the deal for you with the landlord. That means you don't have to worry about a script. You don't have to worry about credibility. I don't care what your credit scores. I don't care how many Airbnbs you have. I don't care what your website looks like. I don't care about your LLC because it's going to be on the credibility of me, not you. And if that video right here did not change the game, then leave me a comment and say, you know what? I already know that. Doubt it. You know why? Because there's nobody else right now on the planet that's even considering, thinking about jumping in my game. My game changed the game. And that's why most people are not getting properties, or they would never say something crazy like you're going to get a property in 30 days. Now, I can't guarantee 30 days because I don't know your work ethic. I don't know your background. I don't know your education. And some of that time, it does matter. But here's what I can tell you. If you follow my blueprint like my students are doing, and you and I are working together, guess what I'm going to do? I'm gonna do everything in my power to get your property signed, sealed, and delivered. Your very first, second, or 10th Airbnb in 30 days or less. And I've been very, very successful at hitting that number. The reason is because it's me on the phone doing the negotiations. It's me on the phone using my credibility to help you. And so this is the fastest way that you can get into Airbnb, because every other platform out there is, 6 to 12 months, okay? Because they're telling you to get apartments where you got to build business credit. They're telling you to go driving around, look for signs. It's a big waste of time. You follow what I just told you right there. Get the paid software. If we're not going to work together, that's okay. Just make sure you get that out of this video, that you get paid software, a couple $100 a month. Make sure that you're on Zillow finding the properties for rent. Go to some of the markets I just gave you, okay? And make sure that the 60% plus on occupancy, the average price for the daily rate is above 150. Make sure you're in a medium size, over 250 Airbnbs in that area, but less than 10,000. And make sure that your market grade is above 65. Just follow that right there. And when you find a property, okay, maybe you have a script, maybe you don't. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Down in the description, I'm gonna put a script in there that I've been using, okay? And I'm gonna tell you something. Landlords will be eating out of your hand to do business with you. Paste the script in Zillow when you're finding a house. Go to ask a question box, paste the script there, and just watch what happens. Then you'll find the property. Then go to AirDNA, check the numbers, make sure it fits the criteria I just told you right here, and then you've got a property that's solid with a landlord who's looking to rent their property, and you're not driving all over town and asking family members for a rental. This is how you get the property. And if you want my help, and you want to do it the right way, and you want to make sure that you're not going to lose money every month, to ensure you that you find the right property in the right market and it looks financially to be sound, and you want my help getting on the phone, negotiate you 4 to 8 weeks of free rent and with a furnished property, and you want the software and everything else, put the word Airbnb in comments, and Investor Mike will reach out to you personally himself to get on a quick 10-minute call, and I'll share with you what I can do to help you. God bless, be safe. As always, subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, and let's rock and roll to your success. Bye.